Okay. My name is Jerry Gill. Today is April 18th, 2009. Here on the Oklahoma State University campus, interviewing Joel Horlen, who played on the 1959 NCAA Championship Baseball Team at Oklahoma State. This interview is the O State Stories Project, which is part of the Oklahoma World History Research Program. Mr. Horlen, it's sure good to have you back at Oklahoma State, and I understand you guys are back for a 50-year reunion of your championship season. Is that correct?
That is correct, and it's been a great time.
It's pretty special to get back with all the guys.
Yeah, it is, because I haven't seen them in years. I mean, since we got back from Omaha, I guess.
So some of them you haven't seen in 50 years then.
Right.
Do you know, have they had some interviews before, some reunions before this?
I think so. I remember I was playing professional ball at the 10th year, and then the 50th year is the first one I've heard about.
Okay, that's great. I want to ask you some questions here a little bit about the season, the championship season and year. But first of all, Joel, could you go back and tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, about your family, and some of your early life?
I was born and raised in San Antonio, Texas. From the time I was 6 or 7 years old, I had a baseball and a bat. I remember that. And I had a younger brother, 2 years younger. We just played ball out in the street. Seemed like when football season came around, we had a football and a helmet and everything. I think actually when we were young, 4, 11, 12 years old, we played football, we played basketball, and we played baseball all year round.
Of course, in San Antonio, you kind of play outdoors all year round.
Just about. You have a few bad days.
You're in high school, and your sports career, did you participate in all those sports in high school?
I played football, basketball, golf. We did not have baseball. We had an American Legion program that started after school was out, and I played American Legion baseball.
Is there a story, Joel, about how you found out about Oklahoma State University, how you got here?
Well, one of the guys I played baseball with, YMCA baseball and Pony League baseball, was Ben Bancroft, and his father came to school up here way back when. I think 29 or 30, somewhere like that. And both Ben and I were looking for a place in college to play baseball, and so he called Toby Greene. And actually, Toby Greene actually came to San Antonio to watch us play.
Played Legion. What you played, Legion ball?
Well, the game, I was playing Legion ball plus what we call the Sunday beer leagues down there on Sundays. And they got old guys there and young guys, and Ben and I both played in that on the Sunday league games.
Local town league.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you pitch it?
He came down the game that Coach Greene was there. I started at shortstop and played there for about 4 innings or so, and our pitcher got in trouble, so I went to the mound there and I finished the game. We ended up winning the game.
Were you primarily a pitcher at that time, or just you're an infielder and pitched on the side?
Yeah, well, pitching was my main thing. Before American Legion, we had YMCA baseball, and I pitched there on one team, and then we had that was a midget team, and then we had a junior team, and I played shortstop on that. It was older kids. And then I also played Pony League baseball and American Legion at the same time after I graduated out of the YMCA League. And our Pony League baseball team won the World Series of Pony League baseball. Oh, what year was that? I want to say 52. I think I'm right on that.
So what year did you graduate from high school in?
I graduated in, let me think here, 55.
55. Did you have some other offers other than Oklahoma State to play college ball?
No. No.
What had you been on campus at OSU before you first come up
never
that fall?
Never had been.
was your first impression, Joel? What'd you think?
Oh, it was great. I mean, they were, the buildings were awesome to me. Of course, I live, close to the University of Texas, and their campus didn't look like much from the highway as you went by. That's the only time. I never did go visit it or anything. And this was really something, and I kind of wanted to get away a little further from home. I had played baseball for my dad from the time I was 8 years old to 21. And I thought maybe I could use a little, see what it was like somewhere else, but I owe everything to my father, because he was a tough man to play for, but I think it made me the player and the pitcher that I ended up being.
Was he a baseball player himself?
He played just amateur ball there in San Antonio.
Great. What, speaking of OSU, not thinking about sports for just a minute, but your OSU experience at Oklahoma State University, were there some special memories you have, some things that stand out in your mind of your time here on campus?
Bancroft and I had stayed in Bennett Hall over there, and there were a couple of roommates next door to us, and one of them ended up being in Who's Who America, college division of that. Really a smart guy, and I had a class with him every morning, 2 or 3 times a week, in the morning of some government course or something, and we studied together, and all the tests were essay type tests in blue books, and we took our first test. He made A and I made a B+, and we studied together for every test. He made A and I made B+.
What was your major?
PE.
Okay, great. What, maybe getting ahead of us a little, because I want to come back to the championship here and kind of follow up with you, and then of course your pro career. But when you graduated, then you went right into the pros. You signed a contract after. Did you play 3 years at OSU or
I played 2 years.
2 years here, and then went in to sign a pro contract with Chicago White Sox.
About 2 o'clock in the morning after the College World Series.
Pretty quick
Up
after.
in Omaha, yeah.
What was that like? Did you start off at the AA level, or where did they sign?
No, I started. What was it? I guess it was called C-ball, and I remember pitching my first game. We wore these old uniforms that they wore back in the 1820s, and wool was about a half-inch thick, and sleeves hung down to past your elbows, and a round hat with the flat tops. And it was 105 or 110 degrees there, and I'm sweating like a dog out there. And about the 6th inning, a guy hits a line drive back at me, hits me right in the forearm of my right arm. They take me out of the game. And that's what I remember about my first game.
Your first experience in the pros.
Oh, and we rode to the ballpark in these old cars. That was another thing.
How long did you kind of share how you worked your way up to majors? And
yeah.
This would have been in 59?
In 59, yeah. I was in June of 59, and latter part of June. And I made another start and went 9 innings and won. I made another start and went 9 innings but lost. And then with 1 day's rest, I pitched a 11th, 12th, and 13th inning of a 14-inning ball game. And with 1 day's rest, I started again, and I went 14 innings. And I left with the score tied. And I never won another game after that. That 14 innings about killed me, plus with only 1 day's rest there for 3 days in a row. And my first season I was 1-9, just horrible. I imagine the White Sox were scratching their heads what they had signed.
Because in those days they didn't have big bonuses, so they didn't have a lot invested in you, I guess. Either.
Well, they did. I did get a nice side bonus.
Oh, did you?
When I
Okay.
signed, yes.
Which is a little unusual, isn't it, for that era?
Yeah.
To sign a nice bonus.
Yeah, I got a nice bonus for them. It's spread out over 6 years, though. Doled it out meagerly.
So your career has hopefully went uphill from after.
Yeah, I got home and I was home about 3 weeks, and I went to the very first Florida Instructional League program that they had down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And the White Sox were based in Sarasota, Florida, and they really monitored your innings there and everything, and brought me along a little more slowly and let me recuperate from the experience that I'd had during the summer. And things started going really well down there. I had good coaching and everything. And I went to my first minor league spring training down in Hollywood, Florida. We had like 7 or 8 teams, and those 7 or 8 teams had spring training on 2 fields. I mean, if you were scheduled to throw batting practices that day, you just stood way out in the outfield and just stood there for 4 or 5 hours or so until it was your turn to throw. Well, I got through that all right, and actually advanced up to A-ball. And I had a winning record there. And
where were you signed that year? Where you
and I
played?
went to Charleston, South Carolina, in the Sally League. And the White Sox didn't have a AA team at that time. So somehow, some way, I guess they saw something. I mean, I went to the Major League spring training the next year, and got to pitch in some spring training games and did well. And so I thought I'd be going back to Charleston, but they sent me out to AAA, out to San Diego. And I went out there and pitched every 4th day the whole season. I had no injuries, no anything, and finished second in the league in earned run average and won, I don't know, 12, 14 games.
This was in 1961.
Yeah, and that I only won about 11 games because in August 20th in there somewhere they called me up to the big leagues. And so I finished in the big leagues.
Did you get a chance to start a game?
Yeah, I started as soon as I got there. And I won my first game, and then I lost 3, I think it was, after that. Season ends, I go home for 6 days, and I catch an airplane to Puerto Rico. And I played for Mayaguez Indios down there, and we're playing against some major league players: Orlando Cepeda, Roberto Clemente, and Roman Gomez. The competition was actually stiffer than AAA, but I ended up winning 16 games down there in the winter. I won like 29 or 30 games for the total year. These guys now would refuse to do that.
You have your arm in a sling every some of those games?
I found out early that thanks to Herb Score, who was sent down from the White Sox to San Diego, thanks to him, he got me on a training program of running and stuff like that, and lots of it. And from that moment on, my legs stayed strong. I made sure every year that I did the program that he kind of put me on, and I just stayed with it, and it served me well.
So you pitched 11 years for Chicago, is that right? 11
years
seasons
for Chicago.
And do you recall what your record was over the span?
I don't even think it was. I think it was 1 game under 500. I'm not sure. I've never really looked at my records. I had a real low earned run average, I know, I think my lifetime was 120, 118, and I lost 119. Had a 312 earned run average lifetime, and I had a no-hitter. Came with one out of pitching two no-hitters in a row, which has only been done once.
So what years were that, and did you remember those games?
67.
67 against, do you remember the teams?
I pitched against, the no-hitter was against, who was it? Detroit. And it was in September. We were battling out. There were 4 teams battling out to win the American League pennant at that time. We ended up third, I think.
Did you ever play in the playoffs with Chicago?
Back then they didn't have playoffs.
They didn't have
no, they had them.
You had to win the pennant to get to the World Series.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We finished second and third, I think, one year.
As I recall, Joel, were you runner-up one year for Cy Young Award?
Yeah, in 1967.
67.
I led the league in earned run average. I led the league in innings pitched. I led the league in 4 or 5 other categories: complete games, of course, earned run average, complete games, second in wins, and a couple other things. Oh, batting average against me was under 200.
Wow. How many games did you win that year?
Huh?
How many games did you win that year?
119.
119.
And
great year.
Yeah, I pitched the last game of the season for my 20th, and they took me out of the game after 8 innings. I had a 1-run lead, and we ended up losing the game.
And lost it?
Lost it. I lost my 20th.
Cost you your 20-win season. Oh, it hurt.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I was trying to recall, did you play in 1 year for, was it Oakland?
Yeah, I played in 1972. At the end of spring training, the White Sox put me on waivers. I was a player rep then, and this was just before the player strike. And the general manager and I kind of got crosswise in a meeting. He was lying to the players that were in the meeting, guaranteeing them that they would get 5 years in to become vested and 10 years in to get the max. And it was completely false. And they put me on waivers about 5 minutes later. But it takes, I don't know, 36 hours or some 48 hours for you to clear waivers. Anyway, I go to the meeting in Dallas, and first guy comes running over to me is Reggie Jackson, who was a player rep for the Oakland A's. And he said, "Joe," he said, "what's wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "I think I've made the White Sox angry." And he said, "Look, Charlie Finley's been trying to get you all spring training, but the White Sox wouldn't let you go." And he says, "Here's his personal number. Call him right now, collect." And so I called Mr. Finley up and spoke with him, and he says, "Look," he says, "this strike is going to last 10 days. We hadn't even met yet." That's the way baseball was at that time. And he said, "In 5 days we're meeting in Oakland." He says, "I'll have a plane ticket at your airport in San Antonio." And that's how I joined him.
Great story. Well, Who are some of the players you played with on your White Sox team in that era?
Oh, Nellie Fox, Sherman Lawler, Louis Aparicio, Moose Gowron was there.
It's a great defense to play behind you, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty good defenses. Outfield, we had Jim Landis, one of the great center fielders, and Kenny Berry was one of the great center fielders there. And had Floyd Robinson, who I think led the league one year in hitting. I had some good guys around me.
Good. Well, Joel, after you finished your career, did you stay in the Major League organization for a few years?
No.
Just got out of it.
Got completely out of it.
And so when you ended your career, did you get into another profession then and finish your career?
Actually, a couple of years before I retired, I had built a new home in San Antonio, and just after the season, I was back home, and there was a lot of brush to burn and everything, so I was out burning it one day, and this guy stops by, and he said, well, I live catty corner behind you here. And he says, what do you do in the wintertime? I said, well, I play golf and hunt, fish. And he says, look, he said, I do the same things whenever I get a chance. He said, but he said, I build houses and, spec and custom. And he says, a bunch of us builders meet up at this coffee house every morning. He said, why don't you come up there one morning? So a couple of days later, I went up there and met all the home builders there. And this guy said, well, come on with me. And he said, I'll go check my houses I got going. He had 8 or 10 houses going at a time. And so we checked his houses. He went back, he had a model home, and went back to his model home, made calls to the contractors that he needed out for the next day and everything, and materials and all that. And he said, well, let's go play golf. So we went out to his country club and had a little lunch, played 18 holes of golf. I go back home with him. He takes me, drops me off at my house. And he said, well, I'll see you in the morning at 9. And so but we did the same thing all winter. He says, look, when you come home next year, he says, we'll do some building together. So I did that a number of years until the housing market got bad there for a while. And every winter I was getting a call to coach. But I was making good money in the winter times, better than what coaches were being paid in minor league especially. So I put it off until finally my dad had passed away. My mother was still alive, but then I had a younger brother, 2 years younger than me, who was a coach there in San Antonio and was a Southwest Conference basketball official. And he refereed a game down in Harlingen, Texas. And he had the Baylor and Texas game at noon the next day on a Saturday in Waco. And a guy took him down in an airplane, was bringing him back, and they crashed, killed him. And I just kind of went nuts after that for a while, a few months. And got it back together, and finally, when my marriage ended, met another gal 7 months later, and went together for a while, and we ended up getting married, and got this call to coach again with the Mets organization, and talked it over with her and said, well, we'll give it a try. So I did it, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Where did you coach?
I coached with the Mets. I coached in, somewhere in Tennessee. I coached in a couple of years in Florida at what's the name of town? Just south of Fort Pierce. So it's where the spring training camp is for the Mets. And then I went to Double A at Williamsport. And they wanted me to go back to Williamsport the next year, and I just didn't want to. And so I resigned and got another job right away, and with the Giants. Coached with the Giants a number of years, mostly at AAA, which I really love the AAA level. Got to teach more than you would in the big leagues. Because once these guys get to big league, they know everything.
Well, Joel, look, kind of flipping the coin, let's go back to the championship year, okay?
Okay.
Did you guys have any idea that you had that good a ball club at the beginning of the year? What were the expectations for our team in '59?
I don't remember of any expectations. We had no idea this would happen. I didn't, I knew we had some pretty good pitchers here, and I knew we had some guys who could play defense. But, going as far as we did, it was really, I didn't even think about it. We played each game as it came, I guess.
Well, sort of one inkling from your pitching was when Dick Sorg, who was the outstanding baseball player in the state of Oklahoma, his senior year, and he was signed to come up here, and he was third in the rotation.
Right.
Kind of give you an idea what quality pitching staff you guys had. Great defense behind you.
Right. Yeah, we had the Andrew brothers, and Dobson played third, and Merce played first. Bancroft played center, I believe it was. Jimmy Green played some out there in the outfield. We had pretty good defense.
Ray Bond behind the plate was.
Yeah, Ray Bonds was there catching.
Well, and I guess also, of course, Toby Greene, coach. What do you remember about Coach Greene, Joel?
It was grumpy. But he didn't say much, but when he said it, you better listen. I remember one day we'd been working out downstairs at Gallagher there in that red clay dust down there, and had a bright sunshiny day, and it was in the mid 60s or so. So we were going outside. First time I've been outside, and so we're playing an inter squad game, and whenever a guy got on base, there were several of us pitchers just put shorts on. We didn't put our sweatsuits on or anything. We put on shorts. And as soon as somebody got on first base, he'd look over at the pitcher and say, "Go run for him." And he'd put on the steal first pitch. And so after he did this a couple of times, we ran back to Gallagher here and got some more clothes on. He just laughed about it.
Well, he was, I guess, selected as coach of the year that year, so he must have known his baseball pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, so you were talking about, for a lot of people who don't know now, in the preseason you practiced underneath it on the basement with Gallagher.
Yeah.
All there, and it was pretty
dusty.
dusty.
Had two batting cages up there, or one batting cage up there and a couple of mounds. And that dust was flying down there. Boy, you come out of there and you blow your nose and it's just all red.
You guys were ready to get out on the playing field.
Oh, man.
So you played a couple years there, and you pitched. Do you remember in that '59 season what your ERA was that year and your won-loss record? Do you recall?
I was 9-1, I think. The only game I lost was the last game of the season was to Iowa State, and the pitcher on the Iowa State team was Bob Blocker, who I played with the White Sox. We got beat 1-0.
Wow. And that was, I think, the only series we lost that year, wasn't it?
We didn't lose. No, we won the other two games.
Okay.
That was the only game we lost. I think. I'm not sure. I don't think we lost. 2-2.
Joel, I've heard some good stories about your travel experiences. This wasn't like in a private jet, or it wasn't even in a nice bus. You guys rode what, in cars? Is that right?
Cars here, we got mileage. I had a little station wagon or something. My dad let me have when he got another car, and got like, I don't know, it was enough to fill it up with gas, and I could use it around here when I was driving around here.
You ever have any mishaps on the road?
No, the only thing guys reminded me we were playing Colorado, and we're coming back from Colorado, and we're driving through Kansas there, and a pheasant ran out in front of me, and I swerved over so I could hit it. That's the only accident we had all year.
Oh, mercy. What, you guys had, of course, obviously a great year that year. Was there a series or a particular game that you think was a turning point in the season for that team?
I don't even know what our record was that year. I don't think we missed many series. I know we went down to Texas and played. We played University of Houston. We played University of Rice University. And I think we might have played Sam Houston State. I'm not sure about that, but we really beat everybody. Decisively.
Any special moments where you really come together as a team or
No.
pivotal series? I know one player talked about the OU series where you swept OU as being a pretty key series.
Yeah, we did that. That was a year that the only sporting event OU won against Oklahoma State was the football game. They beat them in golf, basketball, wrestling. They beat them in tennis. They beat them in every sport except the football game that year.
Pretty good feeling, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Was there, Joel, for you, was there a particular memorable game that you had that year where you had a really outstanding game or come back and won a tough one? Anything stand out in your mind?
No. I never really dwelt on games very long. You can drive yourself crazy thinking about games.
So I asked Dick Sorgel earlier. You asked Dick about. I knew the starting rotation, three pitchers. I said, who was the reliever? And he just kind of laughed because you guys didn't have relief pitchers in those days. Kind of went 9 innings and that was it. Huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think I finished every game I started that year. The only game I lost was the game at Bob Locker in Iowa State. The game, what was really ironic about that, there were scouts following him too, which, which is very understandable, and I didn't realize how many were following me because I was just trying to do the best I could. I would not block everything off and just think about pitching. And we played the game it was a 7-inning game, first game of a doubleheader. We played it in about 90 minutes or something like that. It was just ungodly short game. And one of the scouts came up to me after the game, and he said, "Damn," he says, "how long did it take you guys to play this game?" I said, "Not very long." He said, "Heck," he said, "I thought I had plenty of time." He said, "I got here, it's already the 5th inning."
Oh, gosh. Well, speaking of that, it was a little bit, maybe kind of step back to your professional career a minute. It was a little unusual in those days for a real quality athlete, particularly pitcher, to come out of college ball. And primarily they snapped them up right after high school.
Right.
Was that an advantage, you think, or disadvantage for you that you played, hadn't pitched in college?
I don't know. It's just a decision each individual has to make, I think. It's easy to make the wrong decision there. I needed it, I guess, to mature a little bit more and get a little bit bigger and stronger.
It shortened your time in the minors probably by a couple of years too, didn't it?
Probably did.
Well, what about, so the great season you're talking about in the playoffs now, my understanding is there were eight I don't know if they call them regionals in or whatever they were, districts, but you had to play a best of 3 series in to get to the College World Series.
Right, yeah.
And
We
you
played
played
Bradley. We played Bradley and beat 2 straight. And one funny instance happened after that. We stopped off in St. Louis on the way back. And there again, we're driving our personal cars, with guys in there. And I left one of the Sorgles there.
Dick, you tell me.
Dick.
He had left the hotel and each car thought he was in the other car.
Right.
And left. Dick told me about that, Joel. He's still complaining about that.
And I thought it was him. I wasn't quite sure.
I probably want to mention that, but I heard some other extracurricular activities on the road in those days too. It's a pretty good time. We'll go there.
Yeah, better.
So, well, the College World Series, it's a big deal now. But was it a big deal in those days as well? The College World Series.
Yeah.
What was the atmosphere like there?
Well, they didn't have that many people, but the stands were pretty well packed, and they had some good teams there.
Just gonna ask you, do you have some yourself, Joel, some special memories from the College World Series? What were some highlights for you in that series?
Well, winning 2 ball games with my left wrist was broken, but never told Toby about it. Coach Greene never told them about it.
Did you know it was broken?
Yeah, I broke it at home about 2 days before I came back to school to practice to go to the World Series.
Byron Bird just taped it up for you and went right on.
Yeah, he said, we'll take care of it. I'll leave it at
that. So your 2 wins, what teams were those against?
Eastern Michigan and I don't know if it was Penn State or Pennsylvania University of Pennsylvania. It wasn't Penn State. I think it was the University of Pennsylvania.
Were they close games?
Yeah. The Pennsylvania game was. They had a real good pitcher too. I think I drove in the winning run in that game myself. I wasn't swear to it though.
Of course, pitchers had to hit in those days. Were you a pretty good hitter?
I could put the ball, bat on the ball.
I know that Dick Sorgelang was a pretty good hitter as well for a pitcher.
Roy Peterson was too.
What do you remember about the championship game against Arizona? Some key, of course, you were, I guess, watching from the.
No, I didn't get to see much of the game. I was warming up. I warmed up for 4 or 5 innings, and I just pitched the night before.
Let's see, forgot who started, but Dick came in relieved, I guess, did he, about the 4th, 5th inning?
Yeah. And Toby Bensinger started the game.
Okay.
He hadn't pitched in 2 weeks. That's all we had left.
Boy, it was tough on pitching. You only had 3 pitchers in those days, wasn't it? You were playing. See, you played how many games? You lost the 1 game earlier to Arizona, but you played a total of about 5 ball games there, and about.
Yeah, we played one morning. I know that.
Yeah. Well, was there any particular memorable moment that you have personally from the College World Series you recall?
I don't remember that much about them, but I remember I went 3 for 6 hitting in the 2 games I played.
Pretty good. That's supporting the pitcher, isn't it?
Yeah. And but
did you get an RBI?
Yeah, I did. I think one of them won the game against Pennsylvania.
I figured if the team wasn't going to help you, just help yourself.
I can't remember the score of that game either. It was a few runs that we were ahead, I think.
Well, Joel, how looking back now, I mean, how special is it to you to have played on that? You played on the only OSU team to win the NCAA championship in baseball. Is that special?
That is. It really is surprising, but it's special to us.
You think of all the great Gary Ward teams,
right.
Frank Anderson teams now.
Yeah. It completes my history a little bit because in 1952 I played on a World Championship Pony League team, and then I played on a college championship team, and then I played on a professional championship team. So that's 3 championship teams I've played on. I've been very fortunate.
But never made it to the college to the Big League World Series, though, right?
Yeah, we won that. I was with Oakland.
With Oakland. That's right. I forgot that. I was thinking about the White Sox.
Yeah. No, I was with Oakland and won the World Series.
See, Mr. October.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, but he didn't play in the World Series. He got hurt in winning the playoffs for us. Scored the winning run in the playoffs and messed his leg up and never played. Was on crutches the whole World Series.
Did you win a game in the World Series?
No, I finished up warmed up a lot of times, but I finished up the sixth game of the World Series. We were behind when I went in.
Behind you win it?
Yeah, and when I went in, we were behind.
So you the pitcher record then for the game?
No, I didn't lose.
Got him ahead in there, got it close.
It was in front of me.
Joel, one thing kind of want to ask you about, you watched the guys play a little bit of the ball game today, our OSU college team. What in your mind has changed about college baseball since you played in the late 50s?
To me, it's the bat.
Aluminum bat?
Metal bat. It's just not baseball.
Makes it a lot tougher on the pitchers, doesn't it?
Evidently it does. They say it does, and I'm sure it does. Because anything that makes that much noise is going to hit something further. It's just like golf clubs. Some of these new drivers they have out now, and they sound the same as those bats do, and the golf ball goes further off of it. And it's a little more dangerous too, I would think.
What about the facilities now compared to what you guys played in?
This is like playing a major league ballpark now.
And a couple of guys were talking about out at Reynolds Stadium, because it's such an upgrade. You play within, they're talking about building a new stadium even in their future plans.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, it'll definitely bring better ball players here. Better prospects for the coaches here.
Have you followed the baseball program? I know you're way down in San Antonio. So
yeah, I follow
Frank
some.
Anderson in the program. You think
I follow some.
Good job with the program?
Yeah, I've talked to him. I was up here several years ago, and I talked to him just after he got hired. They had some kind of function. I came to Old Club or something.
Well, what is it about? I've just listened to some of you guys visit and kind of share stories, and you've talked about staying in connection with OSU. What is it about Oklahoma State University that's special to graduates and alumni that they want to come back and stay engaged?
It's like a family up here. Facilities are great, and I know I enjoy coming back and seeing people that I played with and were friends with here, and get to see that red dirt again.
Well, Joel, thank you. I mean, didn't mean to worry you out, but a lot of great conversation. Is there anything we've left out that you'd like to share, or anything you'd like to talk about?
No, the facilities here are just got to be tops in the world. I mean, they're really something. And, I don't mind coming along at the wrong time. A lot of guys say, God, I should be playing. I wish I was playing now. I'm glad I played when I did. I'm happy with my life. And, have no regrets.
Good to have you back. Congratulations again on your championship team, your professional major league career, and it's good to have you back on campus. Thanks.
It's always good to be here.